So what are we looking at? This year in this political season, there are people already talking about national people. You can't listen to Akaku. Shaggy does a really good job of bringing light to the, please excuse me, bringing light to the dark. I am very hard-pressed to stay neutral when it comes to the antics of our president and just the way he conducts himself. So I'm going to probably stay away from that. But there's a lot of conversation about a lot of people, and we may have them on the show from time to time. But we're going to be talking about things, and when we're starting, I'm just giving you the parameters of the kind of direction we're going, because I have guests coming like Kalekoa Ke'eo, who's Hawaiian. In fact, he was arrested under the telescope on the highway going up to Haleakala, and he has a lot to say. And we have other Hawaiian guests with issues and things that relate. In fact, we're going to have a lot of people calling in, and we're going to do a lot of calling out to mix it up in a way that's a little bit different than typical format that you've seen. I hear a lot of buzzing. I don't know if many of you hear it out there. We also are going to be bringing on some local people with music. We're going to be bringing on local people with issues. Some of our guests are going to be leaders and already in organizations. Some are just going to be civilians in their opinions. And we're going to create a zone where people can talk about issues. Many people may recall that over these last 14 or 15 election seasons, I mean, that's a lot of years. That's 30 years. I've been, I guess, political, it's called, because I was running as a candidate in 92, 4, and 6 as a Green Party candidate, and many of the values that were expressed then and are still expressed by the Green Party are now embodied and enlivened in all the other parties and in people's consciousness. So before we were ahead of our time and really going in a direction ahead of what was, and many ways that still exists with the Green Party, in my opinion. By the way, this is a neutral zone. That means we are keeping it neutral, so we're not here just cutting each other up. But that isn't that we don't have opinions, because it's pretty hard not to have an opinion and stay neutral, that's for sure. With all the issues that are going on, I could start right in, but I think it's important to remember that we want to do this show. We have people that are going to be in the field calling in, and also... okay, I'm getting a sign. Right now, I'm seeing what we're doing here. Okay. Well, I'm going to be calling our guest here in a little bit, but I just want to give you an idea. I think it's important for us to discuss what neutral means. And I think that people, when they're calling in, this really, I watch the internet and listen and see that people like to bash each other, and that's really not what I'm hoping to see happen here. I'm really looking forward to conversation that talks about things and brings people on talking about the why behind their opinions, so that I can guess it's called ho'oponopono, isn't it, in Hawaiian, where we all look at things openly and honestly and come to terms and come to balance and understanding of each other and ideas. And that's what this zone is intended to be. You would have been hearing some music right now because I was going to take a breath, but it doesn't seem that the sound is working. We got a couple of ways to get it, but next week we'll have that done. And I think that it's important that we get input from people in the community. So we are laying a format that's going to be unique each time. At 11 o'clock in the morning on Monday, getting it between both ears, about politics may or may not be what's thing. So we're going to be taking it easy and taking issues and getting into this, because we're not only looking to be here in the election season, we're looking to be here as a forum to create conversation all the time and to develop a way that people can. I guess you guys have heard me say that a few times, so I think that's really important. Obviously, without my soundboard, you don't have prepared stuff, but I do think it's significant for us, all of us. I'm often trying not to be wordy. I mean, I don't think you want my opinions as much as you'd like to see what's going on in our community. So I have a guest that I've known for a lot of years. In 1992, when the Green Party got started, Nikhilananda was one of 4 candidates that I'm sorry, I can't understand what one of 4 candidates that the Green Party had here in Maui County. And when that happened, I stood up, and I was in West Maui, and I always found it interesting that the Republican told me afterwards that the votes that I got were the ones that would have won him the election. And the next time when the election came, and I thought, we're just Greens. We want to put out our ideas. Our chances of winning, which was like David and Goliath, I wasn't looking to do that. So I pulled papers and ran for mayor, and then switched to a council race against a then local hero for many, Wayne Nishiki. And so I had ideas out there. And then was living in South Maui, and so, again, ran in South Maui as a Green. But I thought that I could do better by interviewing people, and differently than choosing who I thought you should vote, and only talking to people that I already wanted to support. I took the tact of interviewing people so that you, the viewer, could make your own determination by getting up close and personal and getting a chance to speak with them, and that was the route that I did take. Here we are, many elections later, and I've seen a lot of the same faces speaking about the same things, or in many cases, speaking around them. There's not a lot of consistency with any of the candidates that I saw over the years. I must say, as a general thing, there are many more people that are prepared to take on this role on council or mayor than before. Although, I don't see a lot of experience being brought into the role, and I think many of us, when we start discussing issues, will see that you want to see change, and you need something different and new in there. Or if you're there and you want to defend who and what you have, or you believe that the people that are there are right, we'd like to hear from you also on that matter. So that's a very big point, that's what's going to happen here. Now, I have field correspondents, and some of them are blue, and some of them are green, and some of them are pink. And they have all kinds of issues, and we'll be talking about things that may be political by themselves, and they may just be social issues like health and health care. Not only can we, of course, legislate answers, but we have to change the fabric of our social consciousness and actions. So we'll be having that in here, and we'll be sharing in ways that talk about values and how that can be as important as the elections, because the values of the people being expressed, which many people think is only through the vote, can also be through social programs and cooperating in a, I don't want to say a unique way, because it isn't unique. People know how to cooperate, but we haven't really seen it. People are bringing up walls and clearly the climate that we've seen at a national level and on issues at state level don't give us a good example. I don't have to tell you that when you go to Facebook, if you don't see a searing comment about something, then you must be on the wrong page, because there's lots of really open and ripping comments, not only about issues, but about each other. And I think we all can agree that's not the kind of climate we'd like to have. So we are approaching our first break. I am a little hampered by not having a board with some sound, but the original opening of this show is a concept. I watch a lot of Akaku shows. Well, where do I watch them? I'm watching them on the net, and I'm watching them on Facebook, and then they're radio shows. And then, well, what if you have clips? Well, that's a television show. So in this mixed media world that we live in, this is going to be a concept here at the Neutral Zone that brings in all kinds of things. Because if I have a clip of something happening out in the field that I want to show, I'd like to show it on television. And when I'm speaking to someone that wants to support their issue of things, they again will want to see that on television. So we are going to be a gateway. Let's listen to this. I'm sure that's a good way to start. Let's see if you guys know this song. I bet you do. I think this is sometimes the description of where politics has been on this island. Welcome to the Neutral Zone. Let's listen to Stevie Winwood and Eric Clapton. This was a classic. In fact, it still is. Can't Find My Way Home. Can't Find My Way Home. Quite a good season here for that. All right. We are a little disoriented today, as you can see and hear. And if you can't see, you can hear. But I think that I want to be able to give you input in the direction that this show is going to go. I mean, there are a lot of people now. I mean, with the Maui Pono Network, they're doing interviews of candidates every week, and they have a full slate. And I know that they only have a full slate of the people and the issues that are important to them. But there are a lot of other candidates and a lot of other viewpoints, and I want to be able to give a forum for that. So that's really important. In a couple of days, the election candidate will be done, the choice of who is running. So it's a very forward and forward-thinking, I think, idea from the Maui Pono Network to be jumping on it so early. But there are some new people that are jumping into the race here at the last minute. And some of the people we have on here, they're going to be on here because they are likely not going to be on too many other places. So we're giving them that chance in that forum. We hope that as we're going here, that you are understanding that we are forming something that is atypical, and that is a non-combative political show. There are people in our community that are doing regular shows. I'm sure many of you who are listening also watch Akaku and have seen Lucia and Danae doing Crossroads and Sam Small and Maui Causes, now the Maui Pono Network shows with Paul Delorier. There are farming shows. There are all kinds of things in our community, for sure. But we hope to be bringing up people and issues that are interesting, and then from there being able to see where it goes. Because after a while, listening and talking about politics can be kind of dry unless it relates to specific issues that we're talking about. We have a couple of minutes till we take our station break here at KAKU 88.5 FM. I'm Jason Schwartz, and thank you for coming to be with us here in the Neutral Zone. And when we come back, I'm going to make a call to candidate Nikhilananda, the Green Party candidate, for a State House position here in Hawaii. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Shaggy, critical thinker, problem solver, guy just left of normal and sane, but always centered in common sense, and with a brand new showtime. Catch me Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. and then for the replay, 7 p.m. immediately after Democracy Now! For news, headlines, and a bit of common sense, it's the Shaggy Jenkins Show Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. on KAKU. KAKU would like to thank the underwriters and sponsors that make the Voice of Maui possible.
Doorway into Light is a nonprofit organization on Maui. We operate Hawaii's only nonprofit funeral home and its only certified green funeral home. Since 2006, Doorway into Light has been supporting the dying and their families and offering community presentations and workshops throughout Hawaii and the mainland.
Please support the businesses that, through their generous donations, empower free speech in the Maui community.
Aloha Maui, my name is PJ Oliveros. I'm the farm coach for the Go Farm Hawaii Maui site. We would like to invite anyone interested in becoming a farmer and starting a farm business to attend our free Ag Curious recruitment seminars happening on Wednesday, June 6th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at UHMC and Thursday, June 7th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at Lahaina Education Center. No experience is required and it's free to attend. For more information about Go Farm Hawaii, you can visit gofarmhawaii.org.
Nikhilananda, you there online? Hello? Do I have you online? I wonder. Uh-huh. See that? I have to know where to listen to you. Welcome to our show, The Neutral Zone. Nick, are you there? I don't hear him. Do you hear him? I don't know if he's online. I sure don't hear him in the headphone.
Yeah, well, he's supposed to be on there.
Wow.
Hello?
This seems to be another techno glitch. Oh, this is... It's working. Okay. Well, in a moment we're going to talk to Nikhilananda. Nikhilananda is a candidate on Maui for a state house district. And are you there, Nick? All right.
5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at Lahaina Education.
Are you there? Boy, this is an unusual hour of time. Okay. Nick, we're going to call you again here, my friend. 5, I guess he's public number. So, we're going to have, obviously, our phone lines, and we're written right, boss?
Nope, you do not.
There we go. You're there now, right? Well, we heard him for a second.
Hello?
I don't know. Are you there, Nick?
Nope.
You're not there.
I don't hear him. Do you hear him? I don't know
We
if
have
he's
the-
online. I sure don't hear him in the headphones.
Phone's line on. Everything is looping. Well, I guess it must be the radio demons that are in there. And the telephone, that's very unusual. But we are using the system as should be.
In a moment, we're going to talk to Nikhilananda.
It just seems to be looping things here. So, do we have now we're calling again. So here, I heard that. He's calling me on the other line. Anyway, 873-3435. That's odd. Well, a very unusual combination. You there, Nick? Not there. Well, we're in the studio, and we can surely hear me, but we can't hear our person on the phone. Okay. Obviously, we're going to have to schedule him another time. Wow. Well, I found that pretty strange. We're going to see if we try that again. Obviously, I am not really prepared to... I can talk to you and tell you my opinions on issues, but I think maybe I should just give you some statistics and things to whet your appetite so that you can tell me who you'd like to see here or who you would like to have conversation with to help make things different. Do you own a home here on Maui?
Okay, hold on. Let me try to see if we can do this.
We're going to try this again. Okay.
All right.
Can you hear me, Jason?
Now I hear him. You there, Nick?
Can you hear me? Can you hear us?
Can you hear us, Nick? Wow. I don't... You there? Well, it's a very unusual combination because if I'm not speaking loud, why is it? That's very funny. There's a delay loop somehow in our system. Anyway, this is obviously not as smooth an opening as we had in mind. I'm sure you can imagine that. And we were going to be talking to Nikhilananda, who's running for State House Green Party. It appears the Green Party has a number of candidates, and that's very significant here in Maui County. I mean, I think everyone will. everyone will have a green on their ballot choices here in the fall in the primary, unless you pull a Green Party ballot in the primary, and every candidate needs to get at least one vote. So I'm sure that there are going to be people pulling Green ballot in the primary. But their values and these people, many of them are very upstanding and active in our community, and I think it's a really major step that people are chosen the Green Party as their party of choice. In years past, myself included, I didn't have people to talk to unless I was in a Republican or Democrat party. That's another day when we say you look at someone who's in the Democrat Party, and then they're in the Republican Party, and then they're in the Green Party, and then they're in no party, and then they're back and forth. There's a call coming in. We'll see how that's going. Okay, maybe. Hello? Hello? Caller, are you there?
Can anyone hear me?
I heard you there. Is this Nikhilananda?
Hello?
Hi, are you there, Nick?
Hello?
Can you not hear us? Hello?
Can you hear us, Nick? Nick, are you on the air? Are you... Hello? I don't know really what's going on. I'm not sure. I don't know. Like I say, it's very funny. Call cannot be answered. Very unusual. Well, you got to go with what is, I guess, huh?
No idea what the hell.
Yeah. All right. I mean, that's the kind of thing that happens, and you just got to kind of think that that's what we got to go with. He's calling on the other line. I don't think that's the parade. Let's see here. Let's see what happens here. I'm going to put him on speaker. You're on speaker on the air with me. Are you there, Nick?
Yes, I've been trying to call you 873-3435 and picked up that I was busy. You cut me off before.
Okay, we're on the air right now, Nick, so thank you.
I'm on my cell phone. Let me call back on my home number.
Well, this is as close we had to having you on the air. Let's see if we can get you again. Okay, call again. No. We got an... It's not working for some reason. We'll have to do this again, but I want to give you a chance to say hello to our audience. And
All right. I'm using my cell phone. It's not the clearest. Go ahead.
no, let people know what you're running for, and I want to give you an...
I'm just going to use this phone.
Please do. I'm holding you up to the mic as we speak.
Are we live?
Yes, we are, my friend. Hello.
Got it, Jason. I thought that was a private
Okay, no, it's
world. Now you see what live radio is like on the first day. Yes, thank you for calling me, Jason. I was cut off. I was on hold before.
Yes.
When you called.
So thank you for joining us. Go ahead, Nick.
This is Nikhilananda calling in from Palelo.
Yeah, that part we got. What race are you running for, my friend?
Standing for the 13th State House of Representatives District, which includes North Shore and East Maui. That's from Paia, Haiku, Tahana.
Okay.
Around the Kipahulu and Kaupo. Plus the islands of Kaho'olawe, though there's not many voters there, Molokai and Lanai.
Okay. Thank you for that. We know that in these times, you are not a new candidate, but many of our viewers may or may not have heard some of the things that make you feel that you need to run, because obviously you're running against a candidate that is in office now. What would you like to think are reasons that people ought to think about voting for you on Election Day?
Well, thank you for that, Jason. There's numerous reasons. First of all, our system is corrupt. And so for incumbents, if you look nationwide, not only here in Maui County, incumbents win 90+% of their races. Part of that is the connection that they get with lobbyists, the connection that they get with people who have donated to their campaigns, the connection they get with the media coverage. So it's really hard. 2 years ago, you saw Kelly King was able to defeat a vulnerable incumbent, but generally it's really hard. We also had a historical thing with the governor's race 4 years ago when a incumbent was beaten in the primary. So if an incumbent is vulnerable, which is rare, then there's a possibility. So as soon as somebody is appointed, in this case, my House rep was appointed on the death of Melly Carroll, and then 2 years ago, she ran for the first time.
Okay.
The issues that I bring up, and I'm glad you mentioned the Green Party, because there's a whole bunch of issues, numerous issues that the Greens bring up that are not going to be brought up.
Okay. Here's something new to me. We're not supposed to be talking politics, so that means that's new to me. I think we talk about issues. So, someone's now defining what neutral zone means. Neutral means that I am pushing in the gear pedal and I'm not ramrodding over my guest. But they obviously have opinions. But he's right. We don't have to talk about politics like that. We talk about the issues that are important to you. But you're right, Nick. Thank you for pointing that out. We'll find out what we should be speaking about. But I thought what you were talking about was relevant. But I want to get specific into you and the kind of values and things that, to me, that's what I'm hoping to share. Is like, so you have a lady that you haven't mentioned by name, but I mention her by name. Her name is Lynn. And no matter what she is as a person, very personable, I find. But we want to see where and how you're running again, obviously for a reason. So there's something that's been very important for you that is making you want to run here again against her. What's that?
Well, Jason, essentially you were talking about the neutral zone, so I don't make this a campaign against anybody. I'm not running against anybody, and I've run my campaign 2 years ago that way, and I've run my campaigns in the past when I stood for the county council in East Maui the same way. There are issues that I want to bring up that are not being brought up. Campaign finance reform is not talked about at all. Changing the way we elect our representatives is not changed at all. In 2 years, we're going to have a census, and we're going to have a redistricting. Well, do you know the state senator from Lahaina and Kihei, when she first ran and won for the state house, her district included Molokai, Lanai, and Lahaina.
All right.
It's time that it is unfair that we have Molokai, Lanai, and East Maui, these rural areas all stuck together in one district.
Okay.
And I don't want to make this a discussion on that, but as an example, Molokai could be connected with Pakakalo and Happy Valley, and Lanai now is more of a resort area connected with Lahaina. So,
well, these kind of things that you're talking about, to me, are administrative things, and you want changes in districting and things that don't necessarily mean you need to sit in that political seat to accomplish these things. So I'm really trying to discover what differences. You say you're not running against anyone. What are you running for? Maybe by showing what you're running for with us, we'll be able to see the difference. But I know I would think that you are running against someone. You've been running a long time, and you have been a very outspoken leader for these political issues you speak, and you're right, they need to be spoken. But when it comes down to voting, and it comes down to that, it is the difference in the way you vote and the way that your opponent or opponents vote and where their values are as they're opposed to you. And so that's what I'm hoping you'll share with us. So someone could say, yeah, Nick doesn't like GMOs, and he's going to be out there, and if I know that something's happening, he's going to defend against these issues that I find important. So that's what I'm wanting you to share with us. So, Nick, you there?
Yeah, Jason, I was listening to your description of what you want, and I cannot answer the question in, it seems to make you appreciative of how I respond. The issues I just mentioned are important to me. You mentioned GMOs. I did not. It's one issue. But yes, the current incumbent is a GMO farmer, supports the poisoning of our land with restricted use pesticides. That's a major issue. When we had the initiative many years ago, I was a staunch supporter of the Maui issue. The initiative. I want to correct something you said, which is inaccurate. It makes a difference if you sit on a board. We had the community overwhelmingly supported the GMO initiative, but the people sitting on the council and the mayor went against us, and eventually we lost in court. So it makes a difference who sits on the board. The water issue, East Maui. The incumbent was wishy-washy on releasing water back into the East Maui streams. I was at a meeting where I saw her speak and not being clear as what position she would take. And I've been a staunch advocate for years about releasing the water to the East Maui streams. Our farmers, they cannot farm. Their cultural practices are not protected. So there's a lot of issues. And running as a Green Party member, we live on four pillars of grassroots democracy, nonviolence, social justice, and ecological wisdom. People know when I say I'm a Green what I stand for. If you say you're a Republican or a Democrat, half of the Democrats in the state would be Republicans on the mainland. So you don't know where people stand. The Democrat Party just recently elected a long-term lobbyist as their new state chair. That says a lot about the party. So what I bring out, and like you said, and I do want to mention the other Green candidates this year, we have more candidates for the state than we've ever had in our history, being on since the formation, as you mentioned earlier, in 1992. So Jan Mather is running for the 10th State House District over on the west side at North Kihei. Melissa Shishido is running for the state Senate seat, which covers West Maui and South Maui. We have Jim Brewer and Renee Ng, who are standing for governor and lieutenant governor. And in the first congressional district, Zachary Bird is running for Congress, and then myself. That's 6 state seats for the Green Party. And that's one thing that I'm happy with seeing, is that all these years I've offered the progressive environmental community who want to break away from the two corporate-controlled political parties, which are pretty well Tweedledee and Tweedledum and Tweedledummer, and stand as a Green. So the local control of public education, for example, I've been a substitute teacher, and I taught at a college, and I taught at Job Corps. And I'd like to see, we're the only state that has a central education system. It just does not. Anyone you talk to in education will tell you how hard it is to get any reform through because of the bureaucracy, the top-heavy bureaucracy. And we don't know where the money is spent. $2 billion, over $2 billion is spent on education. And where does it go? Speaking of education, I have a lot of education. I have a bachelor's degree in political science, a master's degree in law and urban affairs. I have a real estate license. I have facilitation certificate. I have a mediation. I was a mediator for many years. My substitute teacher certificate. So education is really important to me. I could rattle off, we don't have time today, but there's so many issues that I do want to talk about. We can also, again, having rural areas, we need to diversify our economy. Hana and Molokai are two of the places with a high level of unemployment. Okay. And then I want to speak very quickly on two other issues. When I first stood for office, you and I did in 92, affordable housing and homeless were two of the big issues. Now, 26 years later, affordable housing and homeless are still issues in our state.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
We have the highest per capita level of homeless people.
Isn't that one of the most sad things that we could say? After 26 years, the issues that we considered important then are still not addressed. And yet we're still seeing the same faces. So I'm hoping personally that that message is really clear. And the issues that we're still bringing up for 26 years, somehow, are we just moving chairs around on the deck of the Titanic? We have people on council that thought they need to leave being on council at the table and run for mayor, because what is it about being a mayor that's different than being on council? That kind of discussion and things like that. Or when you're dealing at a state level, do you feel that when you get into your seat, you'll be able to specifically bring any measures forward, anything that you have in mind?
Okay, that's another great question, because I sat for an interview with an environmental organization that makes endorsements, and the very last statement they made to me was that, well, you see, we're not sure we want to endorse you, even though they said I was brilliant in my answers to my questionnaire and all the issues that I spoke about, because they have to work with the incumbent. And again, what I saw in that is the typical situation we have politically. Everybody is well, no, we can't really stand on our principles, which I have, as you said, and I appreciate that, for over these years. So, yes, I would find the different representatives. For example, the most environmental representative out of 51 happens to be one of the 5 Republicans. So you would find the people that you could work with. And the only way you know whether I'm able to do it is by giving me a chance, and that's what I've offered for many years. Let's see. If it doesn't work, we have an electoral system. In 2 years, you can get rid of me if I'm not able to bring to the community. And we have, like I said, we have the most diverse district in the state. Molokai has special issues. Lanai is an island owned by one person, has special issues. Hana is different than Paia. Paia is different than Haiku. So all of these issues are important. So, yeah, we would only know by seeing, giving an opportunity to attempt to make these progressive and social justice issues. Something else I haven't even touched on is prison reform. We have hundreds of people from Hawaii in prison on the mainland. That needs to stop yesterday. And I'm very strong with prison reform. Of course, now, in 1992, when we brought up marijuana, people said, what are you, hippies are weird to legalize it? Now you have mainstream elected officials all over this country and 6 states that have legalized recreational marijuana to take it out of the black market. So there's numerous issues. We could spend the whole show just discussing these things.
Well, and that's why I brought you on, because you're a fountain of ideas, and I'm hoping that our viewers are listening with that open ear, because what you say holds a lot of truth. And that's what we hope we're doing here, is giving people a chance to hear you and not really directing our questions to try to trip you up. But I think it's really important for you. If you were to sum up your reason that you believe that you would be running. You chose State House District because why? Did you feel you'd be better and more focused in a state level than hear what could be done locally? You have issues that are more state-oriented?
Well, there's a relationship, and I do want to touch on one other thing you mentioned a few seconds ago, but to answer that, for example, zoning and development, and those two are, we have the State Land Use Commission, we have the Commission on Water Resource Management, we have local issues, state issues on affordable housing and homeless. If, for example, Oahu does something with homeless, like now they've made it illegal to sit in places in public. To me, that's reprehensible. Well, you'll have homeless then maybe coming over to Maui from the neighbor islands. Of course, what's going on on the Big Island is terrible in the Pahoa Puna district. Yeah. And you might have people coming over here. We need to find them accommodation. The thing I do want to touch on when you mentioned local is, for example, you have a mayor now who swore he's never going to run again. Then all of a sudden he's running as lieutenant governor. He sees he can't win that. Now he's running for his old seat on the council. You see that there's 3 former council members running for the council. Plus we have 1 council member that's been on the council he's going for his 18 years. Enough already. So there's things in local that could be altered too. But you have to work in coordination. And I think here you've got a district. You know, I've been a proponent of district voting for our council for years.
Yes.
So here you got a district, Haiku, Tahia, Hana. Molokai Lanai, I understand. I am not as familiar with those islands. But this area, I've lived now 20 years. I've had my property in Vallejo, and 26 to 28 years I've been in this district.
So you also have a good understanding, and you're open to hearing people's opinions and working on their behalf. Am I taking words out of your mouth?
No, you're not. And I do want to mention one other thing that I just thought when you said working in coordination. The Paia bypass, or the Paia Relief Road. Well, the local community overwhelmingly has supported for 10 years plus a route going from the Haleakala Highway over to Maliko Gulch. And the state, which is the money comes from the state and the federal government, is throwing down our throats a smaller route going from Baldwin Beach to just past Ho'okipa. So the community is saying, no, we don't want this. And so they say, okay, well, the soonest would be 2022 that they'll even start discussing it again. 2022. Anyone that goes through Paia during the day knows about the traffic jam. We needed to have the bypass years ago. That's where the local community and the local representatives and the state representatives have to work together.
Okay, and we have a couple of minutes left here. Nick, by the way, your points, what I am very impressed with as we're speaking is there is no shortage of important issues that you're not only aware of, but that you speak very well about. And I wish you the very best here in this season. You haven't been here in the studio, so you really aren't getting the full advantage of what we're doing here. This has been a very awkward show, and I apologize for that.
Jason, as you know, I had Maui Talks TV over 9 years, the longest running, or maybe the second longest running live call-in, the only 90-minute live call-in talk show. It was not an interview show. It was just me and the phone and the callers. And so, yes, that's another thing I pride myself on. A lot of education, a lot of research, and being able to articulate the issues and to have critical thinking, which I think puts me way ahead of the current incumbent.
Well, let's have you please tell us. You're Nikhilananda, and you're in District what?
The 13th State House District, which is the North Shore East Maui.
Okay, well, we already told us where it is. And so it's the people that are voting in the district number, Nick?
District number 13. I think you broke up again.
Nick, okay, we only have 30 seconds for the whole show, so I'm going to
cut you. Point people to my website, friendsofnikhilananda.com.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. We're going to have you back again, Nick. Thank you. And thank all of you for being here with me on the Neutral Zone. Next time you'll find it might run a little smoother. But this is Jason Schwartz here with you, looking which button to hit to be able to put on the sound. I don't see it, so we are out. And thank you for joining us on the Neutral Zone.